Good evening and welcome to the Voices of Change. My name is Jan and I'll be your host this evening.
Hi, I'm Chanel, and I'll be your co-host this evening.
And I'm Elliot. I'll be your co-host for the evening.
We got a co-host and a co-co-host, and we have 1 week until our Christmas show.
1 week.
Ooh,
And we got some
look at
exciting
y'all
things
singing
lined
out here.
up
Oh,
for
what y'all
you.
singing? You singing. I keep telling you that.
I'm, like I said, a spectator.
We are going to have Elliot is going to be Luther Vandross. You see, you guys didn't know. Do that again, Elliot. Do that
Nope,
again.
no, you
Come
only
on,
did
do it
one
again.
time.
Ah!
I only did it one time.
Oh man, Luther. Elliot, you guys have never heard him sing. I wish he could sing this one song, but I can't fit it in.
Oh,
But anyway, so we're not gonna go with that. But Elliot's gonna sing. We're also gonna have some vocalists. Going to be surprise vocalists. We're not gonna say who they are.
Not at
Well,
all.
it could have been a surprise, but I guess I'm already here, so it doesn't matter.
No, but when you did that Luther thing, you know,
Well, Shamel won't be a surprise, so please don't. I will not
we
be
really
singing.
wanted Shamel to sing.
We're gonna have.
We know
Shamel
that
read.
Shamel has a great voice, but
Read.
she does. So she's going to be moderating, and we already have a theme for it.
Yeah.
And all of us is going to tell our part of it. The theme is a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. So even though 2018 may have had its moments or its days, but overall, it's a wonderful life.
Yeah.
All right.
Today, during our Real Talk segment, we're going to discuss social media. I'm sorry, not social media. We're going to discuss current issues and news stories that impact our community and just let it flow to where it's going to flow because I really want to get you guys geeked up for next week. Next week is going to be fun. We're going to do it out in our studio.
Yeah.
We do have a studio for upcoming artists, a studio for existing artists. I've been trying to get folks to come on here and perform, and hopefully this will be a start for that. Big shout out to our partners, GV Entertainment, Oda Enterprises, and Gray Tax Service. Keep in mind, this is already December the 12th. Tax season is right around the corner.
Right around.
Start my show off with scripture. For today, it's going to be from, this is my favorite scripture, and I keep reading it and reading it and reading it. And I know sooner or later, I want you to listen to it. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. We're going to be right back after a quick break. We're going to talk about the news you can use and all the news that impacts us. We're going to have feedback from our beautiful, wonderful host here sitting next to us. So stay tuned to the Voices of Change, only on Intellectual Radio. For those of you just tuning in, there's a little technical glitch, but we're on, and I'm Jan.
And I'm Chanel.
Another year.
And we're the voices of change. We've already did the intro, and now we're going into the news you can use segment. But before getting into that, I have to mention that there's going to be a New Year's Eve party, a pre-New Year's Eve party on December 29th, and it's going to be featuring the late B.B. King, his daughter. She's going to be featured and singing here. The tickets are only $25. You can get the tickets by calling 708-223-8953. I think it's a good way to start kicking off the new year because it's December 29th. What day of the week is it? Perfect. It's on a it's on a Saturday too. That's perfect because I'm definitely going to get my ticket. It's going to be a bunch of fun. It's in the State Farm building on Roosevelt Road, 10060 Roosevelt Road, December 29th. And again, to get those tickets, you can call 708-223-8953. You can meet your favorite intellectual radio host. I know Elliot and I will be there, so we look forward to
my invitation. I didn't know, but all right, I'll be there.
Elliot, myself, and perhaps Miss Shimmy. But
probably not though.
But Miss
definitely
Shimmy always have things going on.
I do. I'm
Yeah, like
trying
she
to get
got
into
things
a
going
comedy
on.
show. I am.
On that day, the 29th.
Trying to be the comedy show again.
No, go to a comedy show on the 29th. I haven't bought my ticket.
Oh, well, don't do it about
no,
that.
I am
Take this and come on to this. I'll be your comedy show. Just come.
No,
believe me, he will.
I want to see who I want to see.
Okay, we're going to leave that alone. Anyway,
more money you pay for this thing now.
It is. Though,
anyway, Elliot, and Janice, we will definitely be there,
yes.
and you'll be able to meet your favorite hosts there. I'm sure all the other hosts will be there. It's certain to have a good time. What? What did I miss?
Gave me such an evil side out right there.
Not Miss Shamel.
Not at all.
And I guess we're not going to call her Shimmy either. Someone said if someone doesn't want to be called a nickname, drop it. Leave it alone.
Oh.
So
who said that?
I said, okay.
My bad.
Because I have a nickname and somebody said, what if I would call you that?
Oh, it must be one of her sisters.
And I'm like, you're right. You're right.
Oh, Lord.
So for the news you can use, a black 9-year-old girl in Alabama allegedly took her own life after facing relentless bullying and racism in class, according to reports. Mackenzie Adams' relatives said she hanged herself December 3rd in her home in Linden, about 100 miles west of Montgomery, and was discovered by her grandmother. Since the start of the school year, the fourth grader had been the target of bullying at U.S. Jones Elementary School, where she was teased over her friendship with a white male classmate, according to her family. This little girl took her own life.
At 9
years old.
At 9, that's insane.
That's something.
To think that you don't want to be here anymore,
She just took her own life. Young. This is another sad story about a young person. A 16-year-old Indiana boy who was charged with the murder of his pregnant girlfriend and their unborn child reportedly admitted to killing her because she waited too long to get an abortion. Wow. Charging documents obtained by WNDU stated that Aaron Trejo confessed to stabbing Brianna Rosenlang, 17, in the heart with a knife after an argument about her pregnancy. Trejo allegedly claimed he thought about killing Rosenlang and their baby for a week before acting on it. I took action. I took her life. The teen reportedly told investigators about what his solutions to Rosenlang's refusal to get an abortion. Reports indicated that the pair attended Mishawaka High School. The South Bend Times reported that Trejo was a football player, while Rosenlang was the student manager of the football team and an ex-cheerleader. The slain teen's stepmother confirmed that she was 6 months pregnant. Who does this? Who does this?
This is in South Bend, which is Mishawaka is like a little, like almost like Oak Park to Chicago. Because I went to school in South Bend, and he does not sound African American.
He's not.
Okay, and who does that?
Who does
it? You lost your whole life because of a baby.
But he wasn't thinking like that when he was doing what he do to get the baby.
Never do.
No, but the thing, I guess he got really ticked off because she didn't tell him until it was too late. Till it was 6 months. I wonder if this was her first pregnancy. I don't know, but she didn't tell him until after it was way too late. So I guess in a fit of anger. No, it wasn't a fit of anger. He waited. He thought about it. Yeah, he thought about it.
Yeah. Premeditated.
I don't
It's
know.
some crazies out here. I'm sorry. It is.
Just 48 hours after agreeing to host the 91st Academy Awards, Kevin Hart unceremoniously stepped down late Thursday night on social media. The turn of events followed outcry over previous anti-gay tweets and comments Hart made during stand-up routines nearly 10 years ago. Some of the tweets were feverishly deleted throughout the day on Thursday, leading to an Instagram video from the comedian that only made matters worse. My team calls me. "Oh my God, Kevin, everyone's upset by tweets you did years ago," he said in that video. "Guys, I'm nearly 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to hold people in a position where they always have to justify the past, do you. I'm the wrong guy, man." Those words rang as a defiant non-apology for many. Hours later, Hart resurfaced with another video stating that the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences had given him an ultimatum: apologize or we'll find a new host. Kevin Hart met the same fate as Roseanne Barr, Washington Nationals pitcher Sean Newcomb, and Jets rookie quarterback Josh Allen. Newcomb and Allen faced the outrage, apologized, and kept their jobs. Barr and Quinn Norton didn't and were let go. Or should I say Barr, Quinn Norton, and Kevin Hart. Well, Kevin Hart,
He left.
He left. He left,
Yeah.
but he would have been let go. Now, okay, this has been people have been going back and forth about this because some people feel like, well, where do we draw the line? Comics say any and everything. Where do we draw the line? There was some disparaging things that he said about Black women, darker women, in his storyline, in his lines of jokes, saying that darker women have worse credit and darker women that take a punch better and it was very, very, very offensive to me. So some people say, yeah, but he's doing comedy, and when they stand up and do that, anything goes. How do you feel about that?
Me, it's comedy. I like a good joke, and he used those same words that he used in those tweets in his comedy specials. It's not like he just tweeted about it. He used it. That was his job, and I think that's their job, and that comes with the territory. I mean, comics don't try to worry about your feelings, and I don't think comedy is something where you're not being like repulsive about it, but it's just jokes. And if you go to the front row of a comedy show, be prepared to get joked about.
Right.
It's just what it is. So I just think it comes with territory of comedy.
So do you think that there's no line that should ever be drawn? In other words, anything goes. They can talk about any group, any people, anything goes, basically.
That's always been what comedy is, though.
I'm asking, but
we've sat down for years and we've laughed at 1,000 probably racist things on TV at some point or another, from shows like Mad TV to In Living Color to stand up, going back to Comic View, all that stuff. Some of those things were either overtly racist or like covertly racist, whatever the case may be, but we all laughed at it.
But do you think they were wrong when they let go of Roseanne Barr and got rid of her show?
No, that was some racist.
That
was
racist.
Not
And
comedy.
But she's a comic, so maybe
it wasn't comedy she was doing.
Right. She made a statement and was like, "Oh yeah, I was hyped. I was hyped up on drugs or whatever. Not drugs, but I was hyped up on medication or whatever the case.
Yeah.
But no,
she wasn't.
That's different from Kevin Hart.
What do you think Kevin Hart should have apologized?
Because he said he apologized before, and why should he have to do it again? He's done it already.
If he apologized, he apologized. I mean, let it be.
So why are you making me do it again? To control me? Yeah, you can have that job.
Right. Pretty much. I agree. Now, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't have any thoughts. There's been things that to me it was offensive when I've heard comedics say things. So you're a comedy person, so she enjoys comedy. That's why I wanted to get her take, because I know she pays money to see comics.
Yes, she does.
So so I kind of wanted to get her take on it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I just think because he's used whatever I read the tweets, and he's used that in his comedy about the son using the baby doll house or wanting to play with the Barbie. Yeah, that's gay. I'm sorry. Okay, it's funny, but I don't think.
I don't even know if that's so much gay. But anyway,
the same thing as Bernie Mac was like. him downstairs. He wants to make a cookie.
He's using that voice.
It's the same kind of
Exactly.
thing.
It is.
Wait, him
Thank you.
downstairs. He wanted to make
Him
some
down.
cookies.
Him downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, and he used that reference, but
But
nobody
we all
thought.
laughed at it. Nobody jumped on him.
Exactly. I think it's comedy. As long as they're not, like you said, what Roseanne did, that was just, she wasn't doing a comedy show.
Okay.
She was,
She was
no.
hyped up on medication, so
She
she
said,
says, and was
calling
like
somebody a
on
monkey.
Twitter or whatever she was making that statement. So yeah, it's one thing if you're doing comedy, this is your show. It's like being an actor. Just because you portray an actor on TV does, I mean, you portray a murderer on TV don't make you murder in real life. You're doing this, you're in character.
You're in character doing it to entertain.
Right.
So
It's the same
he
kind of
does it
thing.
to entertain. He talks about a group of people that has a huge power base. He did it to entertain, and I guess they weren't entertained, so they told him to suck up or get out. So
Yeah,
end of
but the
story.
fact that
That
they, yeah,
And they should have
okay.
never done that because Kevin Hart is not going to do that. He's going to leave.
You like on to the next.
I don't need it.
the next story. I don't have an opinion on this one because I don't have an opinion. I don't.
Okay.
Criminal charges have been dropped against Jasmine Headley, a 23-year-old mother who was the subject of a brutal viral video. In the video filmed last Friday at a social services building in Brooklyn, Headley is captured lying on the floor as 4 NYPD officers rip her 1-year-old baby from her arms. Following the humiliating incident, NYPD arrested Headley and charged her with resisting arrest, obstruction, trespassing, and harming her own child before police confronted her. Headley had been sitting on the floor of the Human Resource Administration building because there were no available seats. Her mother, Jacqueline Jenkins, told WABC Headley went to the HRA building that day because she needed daycare vouchers for her child. Headley has been held at Rikers Island, without bail since her arrest. In a tweet Tuesday afternoon, BDS says the charges against Headley related to the HRA encounter have been dismissed. The group has also filed a motion to get Headley released. Wow. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so she'd been waiting there hours because she was in a social service building to get vouchers or whatever, and there were no seats. Is it not typical to sit on the floor or sit on a ledge or sit anywhere you can?
It's not uncommon at all. We see it even here. If you go,
Yeah, if you're going in someplace and you can't get a seat,
you're
even,
gonna sit wherever you can. If you can manage to sit down there, you sit on the ledge, you sit
You'll
on the
make
or
floor,
some-
you sit
wherever,
on the
you'll make,
stairs.
yeah. Plus,
you
you
know.
got a baby. That's another 20 pounds or however many
You're
pounds.
holding up. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a heavy baby.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
1 year old. How old was the baby? 1. Yeah, the baby
yeah.
could have been 40 pounds.
Oh,
So
mercy.
Damn, 40 pounds.
What's they feeding that
What
baby?
kind of 1-year-old is this?
it was a
baby
it,
you
was a, it
have?
was a juicy. Well, I mean, think about it. A newborn baby could be 7 or 8 pounds.
Yeah, but not
A
a 1.
3-month-old baby could be 18 pounds. So what you think a 1-year-old? Well, they normally do get thinner, but whatever.
Lord have
She
mercy.
got some
but
heavy
that is-
babies on her arms.
Okay, no wonder she was
She could have had, and she was a little girl probably. No, I'm just joking out. Even though she
Anyway, back to the story. But no, that's really upsetting. That's just outrageous. I don't know what's going on in the world. People, it's something in the water. People are acting just outrageously.
That's why I drink alkaline
story
water.
after I do too. Story after story after story that we're getting crazier and crazier. And now we're kind of getting numb because we've heard everything. So now it's like, okay,
Yeah.
it's crazy. This is this next story. I kind of ran across it, but police investigating a shooting threat at an R. Kelly documentary screening in New York City last week say they've identified a person of interest, someone who may have ties to Chicago, Kelly's hometown. According to TMZ, police say the person who threatened to shoot up the surviving R. Kelly documentary called in from a phone with a Chicago area code. At this point, law enforcement haven't named the person, nor is it clear whether they have any connection to R. Kelly. The documentary focused on decades of abuse allegations against R. Kelly, interviewing his associates and women who say they have been victimized by the singer. The accusations include claims that the self-titled Pied Piper of R&B physically and sexually abused multiple women, and that he groomed and coerced others to be part of a sex cult. A Q&A featuring some of the documentary participants was also scheduled after the film. The gun threat was called in 20 minutes into the screening of Newhouse Madison Square last Tuesday night. The caller, who had a male-sounding voice, said someone in the audience had a gun and would shoot if the screening continued. I guess someone wanted to really stop that screening.
I
Yeah.
would love to see it though.
Oh,
I'm curious
I'm sure
too.
everybody wants to
I
see
want
what
to
this is
see.
I'm
all
I
about.
saw an
curious.
interview with his wife, and
That was horror.
that was.
Oh,
I didn't.
I
I didn't
saw
see that.
that.
I don't
I
think I
saw
want to
that
see
one.
it.
It was. It
really?
was
I don't think I
interesting.
want to see
I
it.
thought it was kind of
I've
interesting.
gotten my fill of R. Kelly.
She just felt so. I mean, oh man, that.
Maybe his
Mm,
kids don't have a relationship with him. They're like, no, we don't see him. I was like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, no, they don't.
it's
That was
unfortunate.
crazy.
It's really
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Mm.
This next is a feel good story. Finally, a feel good story for the Christmas
Tyler
holiday.
Paris.
Tyler Perry. You want to read that one?
No, you can read it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, no. I'm like, do you have it on your?
I'll do it. I'll read
Yeah. Oh my
it.
gosh.
You know we have a whole lot of fun around here.
Yeah, we do.
Tyler Perry made the holidays a little brighter for shoppers after he recently paid off about $434,000 worth of layaways at two Walmart stores in Georgia. He should have came to Chicago.
Really?
Perry, the multi-talented entertainer, said on Twitter he intended for the gift to remain anonymous. Quote, I know it's a hard time and a lot of people are struggling. I'm just really, really grateful to be in a position to do this. End quote. He said shoppers only had to pay a penny to claim the items they had on layaway. Wow. According to the Atlanta Journal, excuse me, Constitution, Perry was inspired to make the gift. Oh yeah, to make the gift after watching a segment on Good Morning America about Walmart secret Santas who pay off single layaway accounts at the store anonymously. A person a person close to Tyler Perry said. A Walmart manager at the Douglasville location said there's usually about 1,000 layaway accounts at the
Mm.
store during the holidays, according to the newspaper. While Good Samaritans will occasionally come in and pay off one random account, she's never seen someone pay off the entire layaway system, according to the newspaper. I was shocked, said manager Shamika, who didn't provide her last name. It shows that we know there's still good people in the world.
Wow.
That is amazing.
That
I
is.
wish I wish it would have been. Well, none of us have a layaway at Walmart anyway, so
Well,
it wouldn't
maybe
help us
Oprah will
any.
How
come.
you know we got no
I
layaway
know.
at
I
Walmart?
know you don't have a layaway at
Man,
I
Walmart,
so don't.
and I know you don't have a
how
layaway
you
at
know?
You
Walmart,
ain't got one. Stop playing.
and I know I don't have a layaway at Walmart. So I mean, but
Nah.
if I would have, it would be nice to get it. You know, like if I had two 65-inch TVs or something,
You
it'd be nice to
know,
get paid.
come on. I need for Oprah to come on to Chicago and just, pay off a bunch of people who lay away. Just follow suit. A couple of y'all that got money. Dwayne Wade, come on through.
Or they
Yeah,
could
from
even
the
just
city.
just randomly get people on, I don't know, Facebook some kind of way and just give them money.
'Cause people are doing it. I could use a bigger TV. I'm just saying.
You can
I might just do a layaway just to get me a bigger TV.
You are too funny.
what?
Don't pay me no attention.
I won't. But be sure to tune in next week and listen because you guys got to hear this man chops. You got to hear him
Oh
sing.
my,
You got
oh
it. You
my,
have to
oh
hear it.
my.
A woman who was 16 when she killed a Nashville man who solicited her for sex must serve at least 51 years in prison before she's eligible for release, according to the Tennessee Supreme Court. On Thursday, the court said defendants like Satonia Brown, who are convicted of first-degree murder committed after July 1st, 1995 and sentenced to life imprisonment, can't become eligible for release from prison before serving more than 50 years. The
Wow.
court 5 justices were unanimous in their decision against Brown, who was convicted of killing a 43-year-old man in 2004 when he took her to his house for sex. Brown has said she killed him after she feared he would kill her. Thursday's ruling came in response to a lawsuit in which Brown argues her sentence is unconstitutional, citing a 2012 opinion by the U.S. Supreme Court that said mandatory life sentences without parole for juvenile offenders violate the U.S. Constitution. The Tennessee Supreme Court explained in a statement that under state law, a life sentence is a determinate sentence of 60 years. However, the 60-year sentence can be reduced by up to 15% or 9 years by earning various sentence credits. Anyway, make a long story short,
Mm.
this woman is going to be in prison for the next 51 years.
But today they actually talked about how a judge is trying to a Tennessee governor trying to get her clemency.
And that was only out of a letter and communication from Black Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Now, it just seems to me that I don't know how far that's going to go. I didn't know where that's going to go. But it just seems to me that there's been all kind of people that actually jumped on this more than a decade after sentencing. Brown case caught the attention of A-list celebrities like Rihanna, Kim Kardashian West, and they were listening then too. So now Black Lives Matter, they're listening now too. I don't know what they're going to do. I remember when this story first broke out and they said, yeah, well, she's saying that she killed him because she feared for her life, but actually she didn't. So
But police kill every day, fear for their life, but
Yeah.
they actually don't.
yeah,
I'm confused.
51 years though, when you say excessive,
Yeah, very much so.
51 years, even if she's 20, how old is she? Even if she's 20, even if she's 51 years. Now these last two stories are related, and they're really, it's kind of a dichotomy. It's weird. A federal judge on Tuesday ordered adult film star Stormy Daniels to pay President Trump more than $293,000 in legal fees in their ongoing legal battles. U.S. District Judge James Otero ordered Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, to pay the fees in her defamation case against Trump. Daniels alleged that Trump defamed her in an April tweet that mocked her claims that a man threatened her in 2011 to keep quiet about her alleged affair with him. Shortly after Daniels and her attorney, Michael Avenatti, released a forensic sketch of the man who allegedly threatened her, Trump posted a side-by-side photo suggesting that the man was Daniels' ex-husband. After the defamation case failed, Trump's attorneys had requested that Daniels pay them back $340,000 in legal fees. Otero, writing that Trump's attorneys spent excessive time on the case, ordered Daniels to pay 75% of that $340,000 plus $1,000 is where the $293,000 came from. This has been going back and forth. And okay, so we know they had a thing. We know he covered it up. We know Michael Cohen paid her because in the next story it says Michael Cohen, President Donald Trump's one-time fixer, was sentenced Wednesday to 3 years in prison for crimes that included arranging the payment of hush money during the presidential campaign to conceal his boss' alleged sexual affairs, telling a judge that blind loyalty led him to cover up Trump's dirty deeds. Now, when you read the story about Miss Daniels, now she's going to have to pay somehow $300,000 almost. And then you look at Michael Cohen, who's just been put in prison for 3 years because of covering up. It makes you want to go,
Yeah.
And then when you hear about Trump's lawyer recently, this is
everybody is like
it's
a revolving door.
It almost feels like it's a stack of cards and they're about to fall down. What's the name of that game where you put the little things in and then you move it out and Jenga. This is like Jenga, and I think it's all gonna fall down pretty soon.
They're waiting on that one person.
I never thought it before. And he's been in office 2 years? Has it been 2 years? 2 years. 2 years, yeah, midterms. 2 years. Yeah. But I think they're about to pull it. Yeah. And that's the news that you can use on Intellectual Radio, the Voices of Change. We'll be right back with more lively discussion. On what? I don't know. for those of you just tuning in, you're listening to the Voices of Change, and those viewers, it's just coming on where it's being shared with the public. But there is another video that I have shared, which is the first part of the show. If you have time, check that out also. Right now, we're about to do the hot topics with Miss Shamel.
Shimmy.
Oh, so my first hot topic for everyone is we know Cardi B. She was married to the guy from what's that band? Not band, group. Migos. They are getting a divorce. She got on, and most people think it was for publicity. She's like, "Oh no, we're getting a divorce." And when she's on stage, she's singing. She's like, "I told him the other day we're getting a divorce." I was like, "Wait a minute."
Wait, she was singing on stage. I
And then
told him the other day, like it was.
yeah, like with the lyrics, she changed it. She told her we getting a divorce. I was like, oh, okay, so this is real. She went on Instagram live and was like, why would I do this for publicity? Like this is something serious, and I've ended my marriage. This is something that we've come to, and we just fell out of love. And
But isn't it possible? Someone said that they may be reconciling. Did you hear that?
no, I did not hear
Okay.
that.
Okay, go on.
No, but I just think that's some craziness. They haven't been married that long, and they just
How
had
long
a
they been
child.
married?
Not even a year, I don't think.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's like some things you don't rush into, and that's something I think that they rushed into.
The getting married part?
Yes.
I think maybe if they did rush into it, it's understandable if she was pregnant. You wanted.
But I don't think she was pregnant then.
Oh, they got married before she got pregnant. Okay. Okay. Well,
Yes, I believe that's the way it went. But there are a lot of African American actors being nominated for the SAG Awards, Screen
Uh-huh.
Actors Guild.
Mhm.
Good.
Mr. John David Washington from Black
who's that?
Klansman.
Oh yeah.
Denzel's son.
Yeah,
You gotta
Denzel.
get their names.
Denzel. Yeah, with the whole name. Wait,
Over there, I
wait. I
realize.
just know Denzel's son. Okay.
Denzel's son, and also Black Panther, and what's the guy from This Is Us? Sterling
Oh
Brown.
yeah. The dignified.
So
And to
And?
add to that, your boy got nominated for I think Artist of the Year, Jonathan McReynolds for the Stella Awards. I have to look at it again, but I think
Who
he
did?
got Jonathan McReynolds.
Are
your
you
boy.
kidding?
Yes. Oh, you're so funny. No, I'm not kidding. A few people, because they were voting for the Stella Awards, which is happening in January.
Where's it gonna be at? It's in.
I want to say it's in Atlanta. I want to say I could be
Okay.
wrong.
It must go different places every year. Okay.
Yeah, maybe, but yeah, I
Okay.
did see that, and some other people. So look like we're gonna have a pretty
What
good
about
time.
Travis? Did he get?
I'm
Of
certain he got
course.
something,
Of course.
but I feel like he's been a little quiet lately because he's been pastoring.
He's preaching now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't. If he has anything, it'll probably be with like Jonathan or with another artist. 'Cause I don't think he's put out anything. Yeah, I don't think he's put out anything in the last couple of months, in the last few months. But everybody that put out a album, is being nominated for something from what I've seen. So, the gospel industry seems to be doing pretty good, and we're trying to find a new king of R&B.
yes,
A new-
that's the
Trying to find
newest
king of
what?
topic.
R&B.
A
A
new
new
what?
king of R&B. So
A
it's
new
this thing
king of
going out, and it's
R&B.
a guy named Jacquez, so Jacquez, whatever his name is, I don't know. And he's like, yeah, he's the king of R&B of this generation, like right now.
Who is he?
I don't know, some young guy who covered a song, and he's become popular. Like he's covered Ella May's Trip song.
Yeah, but does he
and
have
he's
his own
covered-
music out?
He's covered songs.
he
I don't
just
think he
covers.
has his own music really.
He's
like,
not the king of
that I
anything. The
know.
king of cover.
Exactly.
Oh,
Look
if he
at
don't even have
Jay
his own
throwing
music.
shots.
He don't have his-
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, seriously. And I was like, and there's been so much debate lately on Instagram, and like
Oh,
had,
it's been hilarious to watch.
it has Keith Sweat and Albie Shore posted a picture like king of R&B, like really?
What?
Or
But there's also only you may know who John P. Key is. He's a
Yes, I do.
So he got a photo out. I'm the king of R&B. Like an old photo from like back in the 80s. I said, really though? That's how you
Oh
feel?
my
like,
God.
it's been crazy.
Why does there have to be a king of R&B?
I don't know. They just think that they're like, oh, the old heads should sit down and let the new generation take
Well, the
over.
old heads
like
are gone. A lot of them are
like-
gone. True.
Yeah.
Trey Songz or like Chris Brown can take over. I'm like, well,
But
it wouldn't be
but
him.
but yeah, no, and it wouldn't be this new guy either. The one who's
No,
the
cover
king of
one.
covers.
Yeah, no. And with me, who would you say your king of R&B for your generation is?
Now that's a good question because I think the thing is really for our generation, or for the latter part of it, I think a lot of us have said that R&B has kind of died
It has.
because everybody's rapping or something like that. It's some
Yes.
kind of mixture of rapping
No
and
one's
singing.
really singing.
Right. R&B was like, to me, you go back to like Luther and Patty and all of them,
Yeah,
Anita
Luther.
Baker, all
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
Those, they represented R&B to me. We don't have anybody uh
Who's crooning
who,
like that?
right, like Tevin Campbell, but see, that was like 80s,
Yeah.
early
Tevin was
90s.
good too. I don't know
You know,
why he just kind of dropped off.
he's still around though. He's just
Is
probably
he
not doing it
singing?
much. I don't know if he's
Oh,
singing, but I follow him on Twitter, so I get to see him every
okay.
now and then. But like, there's not a lot of, you don't see a lot of that. Like, people are
Yeah.
Yeah.
not into singing, and you
No.
can tell. Here I go being a teacher. I have kids. I teach. I can't help it because it makes sense now. I think I mentioned to you before. I taught a fourth grade class music, and they didn't know who Whitney Houston was, which
Yeah.
was kind of shocking. But then you got to remember, how long has she been dead?
A while.
That was
And so,
12.
like, half of their
Yeah,
lives at
2012.
6
this point,
years. Yeah, yeah.
and so they wouldn't know. They didn't know, like, the people who we know. The only people who they really knew was like New Edition and BBD, only because of the
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 documentaries
movies.
that were
Yeah,
done.
documentary that
yeah.
came out.
Had it not been for that, they wouldn't have known who they were.
Do they know who
So
Michael Jackson is?
they knew who Michael Jackson was.
Really?
Yeah, but
Mhm.
that's because you heard so much
And you
about
still
him.
hear
You
it.
still
Yeah,
hear his stuff.
yeah.
So you weren't gonna get away from that. But it's like there isn't, probably the closest thing to R&B you're gonna get is like Bruno Mars. If you wanna
Bruno
class,
Mars.
as far as somebody that's gonna sing, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's not an R&B artist, but
No.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like
you know,
pop. Yeah.
right, R&B almost is non-existent because nobody writes like that, nobody
Or
sings
sings
like
like
that
that.
anymore. Bruno Mars is like the only real singer that we have.
Left.
You have Ariana Grande, you have a few other
Mm-hmm.
people, but talk about a singer to me,
Mm-hmm.
like Bruno
Mm-hmm.
Mars is probably the closest we're gonna get
To singing.
to singing, because everybody else is rapping and they're entertaining on a higher level. You know,
So it depends
nobody.
on how you describe higher level.
Well, yeah, like Anita Baker will sell out a show anywhere. Of course, y'all were front row and whatnot. I talked about you so bad, and my friend was so jealous of you. Well, it's all right. We still love you.
Okay.
But
Okay.
like, think about it. The reason why Anita Baker is selling out shows on her farewell tour is because nobody else is singing like that, and nobody else is writing to that level
No.
anymore. Writing and change. You have like Mary J. Blige, who still is really in a good place in her career,
Yeah,
but
she
her
is.
era was like the 90s. Really,
Yeah.
she boomed in the 90s.
That's when she was really hot.
Like
Yeah.
everybody, even Brandy is still singing,
Yeah, she is.
and I mean, like, she came out in like the mid early 90s. So Brandy's still out there. You still have a few
Or
people that are
even like
doing it.
Maya.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
not Maya. Monica.
Right, that's right.
And Maya has a song coming out
Is
too
Monica
now.
still singing too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Okay.
still singing.
I like
watch her
some of the
on
new artists like
T.I.
her.
show.
I think I like some of the new ones too.
Which new ones? I
Her.
like Ella May.
Yeah, Ella May's okay. I like
I'm
her.
really liking her
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I'm liking her.
Yeah.
But to your point, particularly the male crooners, because
Yeah.
they basically croon about love.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I mean. Love, not just jumping on something. Love.
Which brings me to that. Not to cut you off, but
Go ahead.
you're taking us back to the R. Kelly thing.
Oh,
Right. R. Kelly was all about sex.
yeah, he was. He was.
And
I
there
don't
was
see
some
nothing
love.
wrong.
There was some love in it.
Yeah,
a
but it
little
was.
bit,
It
but
was.
it was always raunchy to me.
It
Like,
was.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can't do too much R. Kelly because I feel dirty just listening to his music. Like,
That's my jam.
there were a few things that we like to hear him sing, but it was like he could have been a R&B that would have transitioned into our generation after, but it's so raunchy you can't call that.
He went to When a Woman Loves. He had us on
Yeah,
that
he
one.
had that, and that was like a throwback for him. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, you doing something,
Yes.
So we don't, you can't pick a lot of singers like
No.
you could, like
Back
we could call
then.
out Luther and
like-
Patty and Aretha, and
They were singing about love,
they were
though. That's true.
singers.
Yeah.
You have like Kelly Price. You had like, who was it? You had Monica, Kelly Price. You had Mariah Carey, who's still doing things. You had the Queen, Whitney Houston. I mean, just automatically,
Blowing. Yes.
Mhm.
like nobody could top Whitney. Like, you had, her name escapes me right now. Good grief! But you had a lot of good singers in the '90s. That it faded out as you got into the 2000s, though. You didn't see too much of
It was
it.
more rapping, like you said.
Yeah, Nelly was. I was into Nelly when he came out because he was singing and rapping, but even he kind of fell off.
Fell off a little bit. He went to this country thing, but he is booming in the country
Well,
world.
yeah, because that's his thing though. He came out as a little country rapper anyway.
Well, he was
But
that Georgia kind of stuff.
Yeah,
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 he
but
was
he like
country.
real
Yeah.
country with the white folk country with the Florida Georgia line. No, if you don't know what that is. But
And that was kind of a smart move on his part.
Yeah, you have
You know,
to.
because yeah,
Every artist has to know
he got a niche, and he's a black man with a niche doing country.
know what your
So
niche is, and then know when it's time to recreate yourself.
yeah,
that's true.
Because I believe there's a saying: if you ever go into the Studebaker Theater, which I had a chance to go into this weekend, if you enter to the Fine Arts Building down at Roosevelt University, it says all art will perish. I'm not quoting it right, but all will perish. But like art will always live. Meaning, we used to sing the song, "All things shall perish under the sun, but music alone shall live, never to die." Meaning, music is something going to always go
Be
on,
around.
even to
beyond the
earth.
person. Yeah, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
so, what makes it go on though is that you have to know when to recreate yourself, when to say, "Okay, I think I've reached my peak at this particular era of music. Let me go and do this." Like Roberta Flack, she stopped singing for a while and she started producing.
Hmm.
Or she knew who to pair herself with.
You know who
Like,
Roberta Flack is?
yes, that's my homework now. One of the greatest things I think she could have ever done was to go and sing with Donny Hathaway.
Oh, you know who? I love me some.
Now,
Donny
how would I not
Hathaway.
know Roberta? I'll show you how much I know. Roberta Flack, the gospel artist, Richard Smallwood. Roberta Flack was one of his teachers.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh, that's true. That's
yeah.
right.
So I do my research.
That's true.
So Roberta Flack knew how to reinvent herself in different ways. I may not always get me in front of the mic, but I've done this enough to know how to produce you. I know how to come behind the studio and tell you what to do, what not to do. I can coach you. I feel like an artist should never have a time where they're not doing anything. Your gift should always make room for you. It should always make money for you if that's what you wanted to do. There should never be a time you say, "Well, I'm not doing anything." If you're not doing anything as an artist, that means you're dying. To me, you know, uh, you may be done singing. Okay, well, what else can your vocal ability do?
Or your gift.
Yeah.
Or that you can share.
Yeah,
That's true.
maybe you can teach somebody else. Maybe you can help. You can do background. Maybe your lead singing is not great anymore. Well, I can definitely do background. Let me go in and get hired as a background singer. Whatever. It's fun to be everywhere. Learn how to play an instrument. Because your musical ability will always be
Be
there.
there.
So
That's definitely spoken from the lens of a musician. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
It definitely is. It's spoken from a musician. That's a good point, though. Good point.
Yeah.
Is Miss Schmel? I won't say shimmy.
Shimmy.
Oh my gosh.
No, you're all right. Shimmy. Yeah, but I think this was a great thing on social media just to get people involved and seeing who would
The king.
the king of R&B.
Oh, hilarious.
Like it was hilarious, and just to think about, you said singers. Like
Yeah.
I miss Robin Thicke. He hasn't come out with anything. He doesn't sing.
Seems like
He's
after
having a
his-
kid
after
right
his-
now.
What?
After this, what?
He having a kid with this lady right now. Whoever
Well,
this young girl
he
is.
ain't got to sit down and bear the kid. He can still get up and sing.
Really?
What's
He's
the
not doing
problem?
nothing?
Like now, I thought Robin was he was an amazing singer.
You
Like,
thought
I
he
love-
was?
Robin,
Yes, I
Robin was
love
good.
Robin.
Robin was
Yes.
good.
I thought,
So-
when he first came out, I saw him on some award show,
Mhm.
and it was live, and I thought he was at best mediocre. He's
Really?
Robin, he's gotten better.
Well, I don't know him live, but I like his music.
Oh, his music is good.
Or
Yeah.
Justin
Some
Timberlake is
people-
a singer.
Yes.
I like Justin.
Where see the last thing? Well, see, this shows you how much I was doing. I know he's done stuff well after this, but the last thing I remember hearing from him was he did a cover of "Love Never Felt So Good" from Michael Jackson. I know he's done stuff way
Oh,
after that, but like that was in my rotation for
Justin.
like months.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Or the one he did with, like, quote unquote, with Michael Jackson, right?
Right.
Like they put him on the
Right.
track.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So I like Justin. He's a good one too.
Which here I go. You opened up my musicality, so
Oh boy.
I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
You can't
No,
talk about
that's
music.
okay.
I
That's-
just get excited.
Oh my gosh. That's how I feel about math. Go ahead.
Well, look, I'll need you next semester, okay? Because I hear you're teaching, right? Have you started?
I am.
So
Yes.
yeah, we got to talk
Look
about that
at
in
Jane.
one
Oh
second.
no, we don't.
Oh,
we
we
don't
do.
have
I
time.
want to hear your
We-
experience.
we don't
I'm
have
gonna,
to-
but
go
I'm
ahead.
gonna say this real quick. So, before Michael Jackson put out the finished version of "Love Never Felt So Good," there was what I would call a demo version that he did. I think once he wrote it, he went and played it or had somebody play it on the piano, and then just him singing all the parts, all the background parts, doing the lead part, and then just him snapping and singing. I was like, this is the most
Did you?
phenomenal
Yes.
piece of music. I don't even need all the extra stuff.
No,
just that
just
alone.
that.
I'm like, his mind was just
Another one like
phenomenal.
that is Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
When he gets in that studio and it's just
Yes.
raw and it's like
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. So I want to hear about Janice and this teaching experience.
Well, we only have another minute, so I can do it really quick. I am doing a little teaching, and I'm just so excited when it comes to math because, oh my gosh, today it was such a great experience. You know, they're doing fractions and stuff, and a lot of kids they hate fractions.
Hate
I hate
'em.
them.
And this
I do
and
right
this
now.
one little boy, he
My brother
couldn't
needs some help
he
in
he
math.
just
Can I
couldn't
help him?
get it. And I sat with him one on one. We kind of went over it, you know, what's the common denominator? What is this? How do you do that? How do you convert it? And he finally got it. And when the light went on, I understand why teachers feel that satisfaction.
Oh, I do.
Because
every
when
day.
the light went on, it's like, Miss Gray, I get it. And I'm like,
yeah.
it was just,
It's
it was
amazing.
That warm fuzzy feeling.
Yeah, and I
amazing.
never thought I'd
And
wanted
that's
to be an
why I started
educator. Never
teaching.
in this world.
That's why I started.
And we don't have to talk about the other. We won't talk about it anyway.
No.
But that was a great experience. It was worth it all. It was great, and to share math and to see them light up. So.
Because that's one of the hardest subjects for, I'll say minorities. Sometimes some minorities, not all, we have a hard time with math.
Yes.
And for you to be able to like help them to have the light bulb come on is like really phenomenal.
Well, the difficulties teachers have is they may have 20 students, but everyone is different levels.
Yes.
So how can you got an hour for the class or whatever? How can you teach everyone to their specific level?
And
you don't have a TA; it's just you.
Yeah.
So because I could do a one-on-one, it was like, and I was like, okay, what don't you under? He got most of it except the very beginning of it, and the common denominator. But when he got it, it's like, oh man, great.
Amazing, right?
Yeah,
I know that feeling.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, because she's an educator too. Oh my gosh, a room
table
full
of
of educators.
Now you're gonna see why we geek out about this stuff.
No,
yes, why we
Baby
and I
Shark
geek
and
out
all,
about
right?
math.
Right.
But anyway, speaking of geeking out, it's time for us to geek out for real.
Peace
And
out.
we have to remind everyone about the 29th. We're going to have that New Year's Eve party. It's going to be nice. You can be home New Year's and enjoy whoever you're with, drink some wine or whatever. But the 29th, definitely come to 10060 State Farm Building for a party that it's going to be amazing. And it's going to have the blues singer, B.B. King's daughter. We're going to be here next week with our Christmas show. We're going to have a bunch of surprises. We're going to have Elliot doing one of Luther's favorite Christmas songs. And, oh, did you hear it?
That's all you get. You don't get no more. You can't handle it. You can't handle it.
You heard it. On that note, we will see you next week. Hopefully, all the technical stuff will be out of the way and we'll be running smoothly. Have a great week.
Good night.
Good night.